I'm Chris Oppenheim. People call me Church. I'm the owner of Interstate Inc. in Los Angeles, California. We cater almost exclusively to recovering addicts, and we have a program in place to help artists with addiction issues get their lives and careers back on track. We're trying to raise awareness, educate others, and reduce the negative stigmas associated with addiction. We want everyone to know there is hope, we do recover, and most importantly, even broken crayons still color. Welcome to another episode of the Broken Crayons podcast here at Interstate Inc. Today I'll be talking with Peggy, my wife's sponsor.
Wait, stop. Broken crayons?
Yep.
I love you even more.
Broken crayons still color.
That's right. Okay, continue. I'm an interrupter.
By all means. So, where'd you come from?
You ain't getting no dirt on your wife, by the way.
Damn you.
I don't care how deep you go. Tattoo-wise.
I'm going to make this shit hurt.
No, I'll be like Bill and laugh through the whole thing and piss you off.
Y'all a bunch of sociopaths, but that's why we're here. I love you.
Hey,
I can't keep normal people as company. I can't.
I don't think normal people would want you as company.
Damn. It's awfully valid.
Just saying. The crazier they are, the more they magnetize towards me.
Yeah, without a doubt. I've met some of your other sponsees.
I know.
And like I said, I know one of them very well. I sleep with her every night.
Yep. And you know, some of her sponsee sisters.
Yeah. No
I'm
doubt.
not talking about them either.
Well, it's a huge family, I think. And that was one of the things for me is like when I was 40 before I realized the importance of community. You know what I mean?
But it doesn't matter how old you are as long as you realized it and you have it in your life now.
Yeah, I do.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Community
I
is
wouldn't have it
everything.
any other way because that's like, I can pretty much go anywhere and do this, but I stuck around here because I landed myself in a situation where there's fucking meetings right out back where I was tattooing. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have to go to meetings. They came to me. It's fucking fantastic.
I would say that God knew exactly what you needed.
Oh, without a doubt. You know? Like, I don't even have, I may have a handful of clients that aren't in recovery. And
How did that happen?
I built this entire business around, you know, the fact that a clean tattoo artist that doesn't want to fucking deal with the temptations that come along with tattooing.
Yeah, you just want to do your art.
Yeah. I in the past have taken full advantage of everything tattooing has to offer.
Yeah, you know, it's like God knew exactly what you needed. He knew the family, the community, all of it.
Yep.
You may not be here if you hadn't had that.
No, I wouldn't. The rate I was going at had definitely been dead by now.
Yeah, and you're not. So what's your responsibility now that you're not?
Help other people get to the point where I'm at.
Yeah, talk about your story, share about you, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. And I do that pretty much every tattoo these days, you know. There's a lot of my clients are in early recovery.
Yeah, they need to hear it. They need to hear that you're crazier than them, or they need to hear that you're crazy like them.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Certifiable.
But, right, how many people have you met with real, true medical, mental disorders?
Everybody. You know, and the thing is, some of it is, and speaking from experience, some of it is I used drugs for so long that the effects of those drugs.
Yeah, you took one too many hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Well, not only that, but like I think the psychiatric illness was not only obviously magnified by the drug use, but some of it was just the drug use. Like, I'm not as fucking crazy as the doctors made me out to be originally.
I mean, technically...
Now that some of the smoke is fucking...
Technically, drug addiction is a mental illness.
Right. Well, I'm talking about the other stuff. The
yeah,
other
I know. I got a lot of that in my life, too.
Yeah.
Bill, my elbow tickles.
think she's being facetious.
Yeah, I ain't being for real right now. No authenticity here.
So what's your story? I'm not even sure if I know your whole story.
Have you ever heard me speak?
Nope.
Never?
Nope.
So you just dodge it?
Yeah, I try to
I
avoid
speak
you.
all the fucking time.
I try to
What the
avoid you
fuck?
like the plague. Actually, I didn't even avoid the plague this time around.
I got that. I got the vid too. Sucked.
I didn't even try to hide from it.
You know what, man? My mom is bipolar, manic, and has schizophrenic episodes my whole life. My dad was a drunk. He was a pilot and she was a nurse. We were upper middle class. From the outside, we looked good. Ozzie and Harriet type shit. Went to church every week. But on the inside, we were abusing each other. They just weren't abusing us. I was abusing them too. And my mom was an evil fucking bitch. I hated her my whole entire life. She was unmedicated till 1990. I was born in 66. Do the math.
Wow.
You know, and I became a runaway. I didn't go to the streets because I didn't have no place to go. I went to the streets because I couldn't handle home.
Right. I get it.
You know? And I have yet to meet, you know, most of the girls I meet have sexual trauma in their life. I was molested. I was raped. All that stuff happened. And all that does is drive you deeper into your addiction. Dive you deeper into, you know, if the parents that were meant to protect me didn't keep me safe and you came and said, I love you, I was like, fuck off. I don't like that love shit. It hurts. You know? Yeah, I don't think I felt the emotion love until I was, I don't know, 10 years into my recovery.
Real love.
I didn't even talk about my sexual issues till I had like 7 or 8 years clean. You know? We don't talk about shit, remember?
No. Fuck no. I'm fine. I got the downside dressed up real nice.
Yeah. I mean, I got clean when I was 28 for the last time, but I had been in and out of recovery centers of some kind and meetings since I was 13 years old.
Yeah. I was, my first one, I think I was like 18 or 19. And, you know, I didn't take a single suggestion until this time around at 40.
No, me either. When I was 17 years old, they put me in a treatment center. And when I got out, one of the techs, this chick named Chris, let me come live with her. And the first day she went to work, I robbed her blind and took off. I had no intention of staying clean. I thought, what a dumbass. I taught her a big lesson, you know. You don't take clients home, Chris. It's not a good idea, Chris.
And then her being codependent, she did it again next week.
Oh, probably. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to find her if I tried. I don't know her last name. It was Chris with blonde hair that worked at Coldwater Canyon Hospital, you know?
Hopefully she sees this.
I would love her to. I would love to make amends to her, actually.
Ooh,
I
like
really
that.
would. I would love that.
Wow.
She's the kind of people that fuck me up because I have no way of getting hold of her. Right? She tried to do a good thing. I robbed her blind.
Yeah. Yeah.
She bought my bullshit when I was in treatment.
Damn.
Because what did we learn to do? We learned to say what people want to hear. Cops, authorities,
Manipulate
parents,
the
whatever.
Shit out of every situation.
Oh yeah, you want me to be that girl? Sure. Okay. I'll be whoever you want me to be as long as you give me a place to live or give me dope or money, whatever. Whatever it was I was seeking
when the well
that
runs
day,
dry, I'm just taking off anyway.
And you know, guess what? When you get clean, those qualities, they don't go away.
No.
So now I'm a sneaking, conniving thief that sleeps with everybody, including your husband. Only I'm not doing drugs. And what does that leave you with? The shame, the guilt,
which will take you back
hating
out.
yourself. That's why the steps are so critical. You don't work through that shit, you're going to use. You don't tell somebody about that, you're going to use.
Oh, 100%. Like I always say, like when it comes to like resentments, for example, I had to be taught to let go of that shit.
Of course. We don't let go of anything. We hold on to that
Right.
shit.
Right. And it only eats.
I mean, I could get a resentment in kindergarten and see the bitch walking around in 12th grade and start egging her ass. You know, I don't let go of nothing. Also, I'm Irish, so it doesn't help.
Yeah. No shit.
And how did you learn to let go? What was that process like for you?
How did I learn to let go?
Because it takes
Well,
action.
Yeah, well, talking about it with Ray was a huge thing, you know, and having him point out that first I had to be open-minded to things that man would say.
Right.
You know, I couldn't just Ray Ray had this thing with me when I would come in and I'd start flipping out about some fucking goofy shit that's going on. You know, early on, everything's mountain out of molehills. And Ray did this thing. He was practically patronizing me. And it took me a while to catch on. Every time he said the same thing. That sounds like a tough situation. Ray, this is going on. That's, dude, I can't believe this bitch. She fucking blah, blah, blah. That sounds like a tough situation. And it hit me like, damn. Fucking let it go.
Well, if we can't learn to laugh at ourselves, then I used to have the worst road rage ever. And I was like super angry till I had at least 5 or 6 years clean. Like a girl told me one time in a meeting, and I threw a chair at her in the middle of a meeting, angry. Like chasing people on the freeway for miles with a car full of sponsees, angry because the motherfucker cut me off, angry. Like I had a serious issue with anger. And I was in my car and I had my sponsor in the front seat and 3 of my girlfriends, maybe they were sponsee sisters, I don't remember, in the back seat. And this bitch cuts me off and I freak out like I do. And my hands are out the window and I'm screaming at this girl. And the girl kind of goes like this and makes fun of me. And everybody in the car started laughing. And for the first 3 seconds, I was like, motherfucker, I'm going to die right now.
I'm gonna kill you.
And then I just started laughing with them. And it was the first time I was able to laugh at myself. And it kind of took some of the road rage away. Took a lot more.
Learning to laugh at yourself? That's tricky. I always said there's nothing more comical than a man who takes himself too seriously.
Yes.
Well,
you know, that coupled
if I didn't laugh,
with,
I'd cry.
Right. That coupled with, you know, that not everything's all about us. That the bitch on the street didn't cut me off on purpose, just like I didn't cut the guy I just cut off on purpose. It's not everything's about me. It's not about me. She's not even thinking about me. She didn't go to turn that corner and go, I'm gonna cut that bitch off right now.
Well, drug addict's the most selfish person on the fucking planet.
You think? Holy shit, they're exhausting.
Yeah, I had a lot of issues with paranoia in the past.
Oh, I remember.
Oh, you met me early on. I had a doctor one time, and he said, I gotta know what makes you think you're so important that everybody's out to get you.
Right.
You don't know who I am?
No, man, we learn a lot of, you know, survival stuff that gets us through on the streets. It's not what gets us through in real life.
Yeah, none of it works in reality.
It's not what life is about.
It's actually fucking quite the opposite.
Mm-hmm. And it's all the stuff we're scared the most of. I mean, did you want to be intimate and vulnerable and all that crap?
No.
You still have a hard time with that, I bet.
You know, without a doubt.
You have to, because I do.
Yeah, of course. It's funny you should say that, because I can't remember who I was talking to the other day, but we were talking about how it takes more courage to be vulnerable than to be that fucking, you know, fighting everything and everybody.
Well, see, that's the thing. I was like a dude, right? I had the personality of a dude.
God, my wife is fucking, you guys are perfect.
I know. Like, I didn't give a fuck. I could walk away. I just had the exterior of a dude of not giving a fuck. And, you know, I left many boys crying, being like, what the fuck? You're fucking lame, you know?
I'm going to cry right now.
I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you cry. But, you know, that exterior attitude and that anger and the violence and all that stuff is just because I was so fucking scared of everything and everyone.
Yeah. No doubt.
I was terrified of people.
Mm-hmm.
The people closest to me hurt me the most. As a child, they were supposed to keep me safe. They couldn't even do that.
Nope.
I mean, a kid threw a brick at my eye one time, and my dad picked him up and put him in a trash can and put the lid on it in front of his parents. But then I was molested, and he did nothing. How does that make sense?
Doesn't make any sense.
Right. I mean, the dude that's supposed to, you know, and he was a good dad. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love him and, you know, all that stuff. You know, he also let his 16-year-old daughter move in with her drug dealer. I brought my teddy bears and everything. He was like, here you go.
Teddy bears and everything. Yeah, I always...
You know, and he has no idea. That guy's doing life in prison for murder, you know? He's sending his 16-year-old daughter off with her teddy bears to go live with the dude.
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
You know?
Yeah,
I mean, when you grow up around that stuff, it affects every relationship in your whole entire life. Not just, you know, intimate relationships with somebody of the opposite sex, but your relationships, period. Mm-hmm. It affects everything. Except for relationships with my dogs. Those have always been impeccable. I would rather be around my dogs than most people, actually.
I think a lot of people share that. My general rule of thumb is people suck. You know, if I expect them to let me down, I'm never disappointed. And then when they don't, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, expectations are a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And that's usually, you know, where the resentments come from, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I did it.
Look, hurt people hurt people. So, you know, if a girl gets clean and people are like saying that she's a slut, she's sleeping with everybody, it's like, well, duh, what else is she supposed to do? Has she learned contrary action yet?
No.
You were still fucking clipping out your toenails with pliers.
Yeah.
You were clean.
You might want to...
X-nay on the clippers?
No, not X-nay. Actually explain it a little better. You know, there's people who cut themselves because the physical pain alleviates the emotional pain. And I did the same thing, but I ripped my toenails off with pliers.
Did they ever grow back?
Yeah, and I rip them off again.
But now are they normal?
Yeah, they're normal now.
Like, I worry about your pedicure.
Thanks for asking.
I worry about your pedicure.
I appreciate your concern.
You have nice toes. Like, if you ever go to Hawaii or anything, you'll thank me. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I was out of my fucking mind when I came out here.
Yeah, I know. I remember.
Well, that was the thing. You were one of the people that I talked to about that kind of shit. I was actually talked to you right before I went to the psych hospital with 7 months clean.
I remember. It was at the old vape shop.
Yeah.
After the late night meeting or something.
Yep.
Back when I used to stay up past 10.
It was, I don't think people realize just how confusing that first year and sometimes longer can even be.
No, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. You're feeling things you've never felt. You don't know what to do with those things you're feeling.
No idea what's coming next.
You're full of anxiety, full of fear.
Coming out here with absolutely nothing, knowing absolutely no one. I knew one thing. If I say clean things, it get better. That's the only thing I understood.
But did you really know that? Or did you just believe that other people believed that?
No, I think in my case, I did truly believe it because I'd experienced it to a certain extent in the past. You know, I didn't take care of anything on the inside. I didn't work on fucking, you know, resentments, and I didn't work on anything, put it that way. But I had some experience with being...
Can you talk and tattoo? Or
sober.
Is that impossible?
No. I had experience with being sober, but not like I said, changing anything on the inside. And I knew things would
That's
get...
recovery.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So there was no recovery.
recovery.
There was just, I was dry.
I know what that looks like. I've done that before.
Yeah, I did it for 4 years.
I got convicted of embezzlement when I was clean. I'd go home and drink my near beer. Couldn't understand what the problem was. And then I woke up loaded.
Yeah, I did. I had an idea of, obviously no clue what was coming next, but I knew that getting high would just make my situation worse. That was where I was at. I knew that it would
for me, I kept doing the same thing and getting the same thing, and I was getting tired of it. It was getting old. It was making me old. It was exhausting. You know, I didn't like not knowing where I was going to sleep next. You know?
You mean there's consequences for our actions?
You know? Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't like all that stuff.
I wasn't a fan of the consequences either.
And you know, the thing is that recovery is not for pussies. Recovery's hard work. And I do the same things today that I did when I was new. You know why? Because I don't know if I'm going to be playing Jenga and taking one little piece out and it's all going to crumble. That's why I still have...
How long have you been clean?
My clean date is May 21st, 1994.
94.
I got clean when I was 28, and it was not my first attempt or my second.
And that's really cool because you...
Because you were 16?
You
Fucker.
That
you look older than me. I'm just saying.
Well, I got new teeth.
Oh, I'm on my way. I got half a rack.
This is my third set. No, yeah, man. I just didn't want to fucking do it anymore, man. This shit beat out of me.
Well, God knows what you need when you need it. I got clean at a time that there was a bunch of people that would like stay up all night and play poker, and we'd laugh and drink coffee and talk shit and win and lose money, and I'd get really fucking angry over something, and I would go in and tell them this motherfucker that, you know, and I'd be raging, and they would just laugh at me. And they taught me how to laugh. They taught me how to not take life so seriously. Not make everything, I was just here and this fucking bitch at this checkout stand, you know, like, who cares? But they taught me how to laugh.
Mountains out of molehill.
They didn't laugh at me in a way that was disrespectful. They laughed at me in a way that I felt loved. It was weird, but they were exactly the people I needed. And not a lot of people could handle my anger when I was new. They didn't know what the fuck to do with me, what to say to me. I mean, if you think about it, this is me with 27 years of recovery under my belt.
Yeah, that's why I asked you how long you've been clean, because you
mean,
are still extremely involved, you and Bruno.
Right, but I'm still extremely crazy. I'm a fucking nutbag because, not in the medical sense. I don't have any mental issues, although I thought I did for a long time because of my mom. And that's a story all in itself. You know, probably. I mean, more will be revealed. Who knows? You know, but whatever. I'm having fun, so don't rock the fucking boat. You know, leave me alone, cuz. You know, I hated my mom with everything in my being. I quit living with her when I was like 14 years old, and in 1990 she moved to Iowa, and it was like bye. I visited her once the whole time she was there. And
didn't you end up taking care of her though?
Okay, 5 years ago I flew out there, and I went out there. I don't know why I picked 10 days to go out there, because I've never spent 10 days in a row with my mom since I was a kid, and that was forced. But I picked 10 days, and I was gonna clean her house, make her a bunch of food, do all that kind of shit, because she was starting to kind of decline. She was in a mental hospital when I got there, and I picked her up the next day. And we talked about it, you know, but I never brought it up anymore because she always shot me down. And she looked at me and she goes, okay, I want to. And I'm like, you want to what? She says, I want to come home with you. And I go, you mean in 10 days? And she says, yeah. And I said, all right, let's do this. Sold her house, sold her car, got her all her doctors, got all her shit boxed up, got a moving company, all in 10 days. Did it. Moved her back here, got her in assisted living. She had a mental outbreak in the dining area. It didn't go over so well with all the other clients. So I had to get her out of there. And so we needed something quick. So we poured a slab of concrete on the side of our yard and bought an RV, and she moved into my backyard, which is where she's been ever since. And she was at the assisted living for a year. And then she moved in with us. For the first 3 years, she was on one straight manic episode. And it was the worst experience of my fucking life. And I don't know how we survived.
When was that? Was I here?
Yeah, this is just
because we talked about her.
So it was
right before I went to the hospital. It was
3 years ago in January that she tried to kill herself. She took a whole bottle of digoxin. Did you do what? Digoxin. It slows your heart rate down. So she took a whole bottle. So really, I don't know how the bitch is still alive, honestly. I mean, I'm telling you, she's got COPD, emphysema. She smokes like a chimney. You know, I have no idea. So
she's making it work.
How long have you been clean?
She's staying alive despite you. How long? 4 years.
So
last Sunday.
She was still manic when I talked to you last time because 3 years ago she tried to kill herself, and that year she was 5150 27 times in 1 year. And I mean, Boombox is under our window at 4 a.m, banging on our windows with. I mean, it was just fucking horrendous.
Right.
Talking to herself, hanging out with the homeless dudes, drinking and driving. It was just fucking horrible. And I honestly would call my sponsor going, I'm not going to be able to do this. And I told her last time when she tried to kill herself, this is it. I'm tapping out. You've taken over my life. I'm fucking done. I'm placing you in a home. I'm done with you. I cannot do this. We can't heal. I can't. I laid hands on her. I mean, I didn't hit her or anything, but I pushed her down on the chair. And I'm like, you know, and she pushed me to that point where when I pushed her down, it was like, oh God, I want to fucking hit her. I got to walk away, you know, because it would get so bad that I would go, in my head, I would go, I can either walk away or I can choose this battle. And there was a lot of times where I turned around and I'd be like, listen here, you know, she just brought that out in me, like, let's go, you know?
Yeah.
And so I told her, and I was serious, and she was in the hospital for 3 weeks. And I was like, you're not coming home. You're not welcome here anymore. So I'm putting you in a place. It's a lockdown facility. It's not that far from my house. I'll visit you once a week, once a month, whatever. But you ain't coming here. I'm done. And somehow we ended up talking when she was in the hospital, and she's like, please give me one more chance. And I said, I'm telling you what, here's some rules. You cross these lines again, you're going. I have a place to put you, and you're going there. I'm not even going to ask questions. And let me tell you something. She has not been 5150 one time in the last 3 years. Her and I have not had one single episode.
Really?
Yep. I've made her go to a different doctor, changed her meds. But the healing that's taken place between me and my mom, I didn't think it was possible. I didn't think I would ever get there.
I'm glad you said that, because it's like you mentioned early on when we started talking about the how much you resented her.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, contrary action. Decided to help her instead of holding on to it. Did the complete opposite. Didn't just let go of the resentment. You fucking helped her.
I didn't want to do that. I felt like it was my moral responsibility to, I don't know what I thought.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe I thought that we would heal. I don't know. But I just felt like it was my responsibility to take care of her. And I didn't know what I was in for. Because I hadn't lived with her in decades.
I had a similar situation. My mother more or less testified against me. You know, I ended up in prison. She thought she was doing the right thing. You know what I mean? Looking back, I get why she did what she did. Yeah. But we went years without even speaking. I talk to my mother every fucking day now. It's
amazing what healing can happen in recovery. And you know what? If that's all I get, I mean, that's pretty huge. Because left up to my own devices,
well, and like
she'd be rotting away by herself in Iowa.
And the timing for things, if you do things the way they're suggested and the steps, they're in an order for a reason.
Well, you know, it's like I always say, but I'd worked steps on her for years and thought I'd come to peace with her, and then the bitch moved in. You know.
But it's just the way the timing works for me, like the whole amends part of it. Just I happened to be on those particular steps, 8 and 9. You know, and I did all the work with Ray, and that was when I flew home for the first time to visit. So I was able to do all the the stuff that him and I had worked on in 8 and 9 in person. You know what I mean? Cried,
beautiful.
Me, you know what I mean?
That's beautiful. You can't put a price tag on that. You can't smoke that shit and get that feeling. You know what I mean?
God knows I tried.
You know? And now all of a sudden, I was a runaway. I mean, I still trip out that my license matches my fucking address. Like, no, for reals.
Hold on. I trip out that I even have a license.
Right.
I drove without one for 15 years.
I know, you can always tell the people that don't have a license the way they drive. That motherfucker's going exactly the speed limit using blinkers, you know? And he ain't old. I don't know, it's like my son and my grandkids moved in with me, and they moved in with us, me and Bruno, because we're the stable ones. We're fucking the stable ones. Let that sink in.
Yeah.
Grandma is stable.
A stable one. Yeah, that's the same.
Ain't that a fucking trip?
Same with Christina and I. Her son lives with us.
with Ian.
Yeah, my stepson.
Because
Hey,
you're the stable
because
one.
we were the
Let's
best
say that
option.
Say that shit out loud.
I'm a gutter junkie. What the fuck?
You're stable.
Before he came out here, I asked Michael one time. I said, "Would you want me to be your kid's stepfather?" He said, "Fuck no." But I don't know. It works.
I mean, there's no magic potion to this shit. It's really fucking simple, right?
It is.
You go to meetings, you get a sponsor, you work
enough.
the steps, you be of service, and you get a relationship with a higher power of your understanding. And that's it.
It's one of the things that
There's
I
going to
like.
be nothing profound that's going to, light the bush on fire, or lightning's not going to strike your ear. It's just really fucking simple.
Yeah, it is. It's just, it doesn't seem simple when you first get in.
Well, no, because you overthink the fuck out of everything.
Right.
Well, what about this? And what about this? And what if this happens? And what if I go over here? And what if I do this? And what if
everything happens for a reason.
What if you just
I stubbed my toe. What's the reason?
What if you just apply step 3 and let your higher power handle all that shit?
Faith?
What about that?
Have faith? That's odd. I don't understand that concept.
How do you get faith?
Anyway,
Through experience.
we're about out of time.
Okay, good.
Want to take a break?
Yeah.
Good. Anyway, we're about out of time for today. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Broken Crayons podcast here at Interstate Inc. Hope you learned something. Like, share, comment. Help us spread the word so these voices can be heard. Thank you, Peggy.
Love you, church.